Hey, everybody. Welcome to Billy Bob's Backyard Week 10 preview, starting with Ohio State and Penn State. And so in just a minute, I'm going to bring in my guests here. Hopefully I can hear them. I'm not sure I can hear in my earbuds. We'll find out in a minute. Just a few housekeeping things here. Number one, hard to find Billy Bob's Backyard original burlap slim can koozie. By the way, we got the famous national championship shirt. For all you folks in the Southwest Florida area, if you get the chance, head on over to Captain Kurt's. It's where the Ohio State Sarasota Manatee Alumni Club game watch is. They'll probably have 400 or 500 people today, so get there early, get a seat. Pop a squat, as they say. And then finally, immediately following this show, switch on over to, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on YouTube, you can do it on Patreon. That's a new channel. And you can listen live, call-in show with Chris Wilds and the OHIO podcast team. So now I'm going to bring in my special guests, Acoustic Larry Daniels and my brother, Foxy Bob. So let's see if we can get those boys on here. Should be Acoustic Larry popping in, and here is Foxy Bob. So can you boys hear me all right?
Yes, very good.
How about saying something?
All right.
Okay.
Good morning. Go Bucks.
Foxy. Let's see.
Go
Acoustic?
Bucks. Yes, go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Let me make sure my earbuds are. So my AirPods are connected. So, you know what I got to do? Hold on one sec here.
Mr. Technology.
Now talk.
There he is, Mr. Technology.
All right. I had to unplug my speakers and plug in. But you know what? Here's the good thing, gents, that the Facebook Live started right on time. Right on time. So
how nice is that?
That was that's good things. Good things. So we have similar weather, the three of us. Acoustic's in Florida, along with myself, and Foxy's up in that godforsaken state up north. What is the weather up north, Foxy?
Weather up north is mostly sunny today. Probably getting to a high of about 50 degrees.
Okay.
Starting
What do
out
you,
right now at about 37.
37. Hopefully, and is it overcast, sunny? No
Well,
chance
right
of
now
precip?
we've got some clouds out there right now, but we're gonna break into some sun here a little bit later towards game time.
Hopefully, that's the same weather we have in about 3 weeks. That's about what you could hope for in a mid-November day. So
It is
we've
November
seen
1st. Yeah, it's
right.
hard to
We have
believe.
seen the good, the bad, and the ugly when we've gone to games. So,
Yep.
LD, what's the weather there in Dade City?
Oh, right now, 60 degrees. I think we're going to get close to 70 or bump a little higher than that by the time we reach the peak there about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Sunny, beautiful, not a cloud in the sky here.
That's about the same as we have here. I think I don't think there are any clouds. I haven't been out of my my HQ here for a bit. I've been trying to get things set up, make sure my technology my knowledge is limited, but what I have is set up, and we got it. So there we go. So yeah, it's 50s here. It was 54. It's actually cool in the house. It's only 74 in the house. So
Only?
only what you guys set your thermostats at 69, 70. Who get what?
Oh my
What
God,
the hell?
that's hot. How about 67, 68 when you're going into November or December?
What are you out of your bleeping mind? Hey, I will say one thing here before we get going. Some more reference back to the OHIO podcast. So they got a call-in show every game day, 10 to 12. Chris Wildman Wilds is heading it up since Bogsy's stepson Xander playing JV football Saturday mornings. But for God's sake, if you call in to the OHIO podcast call-in show, do not be a Caden, okay? So there's a guy that calls into the show. His name's Caden.
Yes.
And Caden does not know when to keep his mouth shut. Wild host of the show. And you don't, it's one of those things, and I've done it before. I've done it, so I get it. Do not, if you're sitting at the bar and you want to drink, do not piss off the bartender, okay? Very simple. So if you're going to go on a call-in show and you want to talk, don't piss off the host.
And it makes sense.
So Caden, a couple of weeks ago, he just didn't know when to shut up, and he got a 2 or 3 week ban on the show. So anyway, probably more than you wanted to know. You probably called in here because you wanted to know about Ohio State, Penn State, and we may tell you something that you don't know. We'll probably tell you a lot of things you'll want to know, and then there's a few things you probably already know. So one of the things is, if you notice, we are all color coordinated today, and we are all wearing black. And why is that, Larry Daniels?
Today is the blackout game at the Horseshoe.
Yes. And, trying to find out, at least yesterday, today there's more clarity, but trying to find out, Googling what uniforms are the Buckeyes wearing today was a challenge. Anything, anywhere from traditional, and then Penn State wearing their blue and white, which you can't wear blue when the other team's wearing red. Just to today, I think we got it right. The only thing it said, they're wearing all black. The Buckeyes, that is, are wearing all black uniforms, but it did say they're wearing their silver helmets. So that'll be interesting to see, because in the past when they wore black helmets. So we're getting closer to the truth. I guess we'll find out if we can handle the truth when they come out of the tunnel.
That's all that what's called hallucination in that AI world. Sometimes they make stuff up if they don't know the facts.
Yeah. So yesterday I was Googling, you get the AI overview. Foxy there. He even went to Gronk, which it
Not
does
Gronk.
not stand for Gronkowski.
Well, time out.
But
It's not Gronk.
what is it?
Grok. Grok.
Oh, well, Grok. He went to Grok.
There you go.
Yeah. I went to, yeah, there's an old commercial. He went to Jared. I went to Grok. Yeah. So Grok, anyway, was closer to the truth. But we'll find out today. Actually, no, they weren't. They were saying traditionals. Grok was yesterday.
No.
Okay. Yeah, the other way around. In fact, AI Overview said scarlet jerseys and white pants. So
yeah.
the last time I seen the Buckeyes wear white pants, you got a protein drink going on there, Foxy? You got
just a little water in a bottle.
No, in a shaker.
Yeah.
That's also a shaker bottle.
Yep. Little H2O.
All right. So Penn State, we got some stats. Did you guys do your homework? Did you pull up the stats that I sent you guys there?
I did pull them up. I got them running on my laptop, and I have some that I also wrote down on my notepad.
There you go.
And Foxy, or
yeah, of course.
Okay.
I've done a little research.
All right. So, Penn State got 4 losses. They're 3-4. 4 losses all in the Big Ten, and so a lot of people think this game might be a blowout. However, very rarely is a Penn State game a blowout, number one. Number two, their 4 losses are by a total of 13 points. So it's not like they got blown out of any one game. And one of those games was tied in regulation, the Oregon game tied in regulation, and then overtime. So we've got the rankings on the Ohio State and Penn State teams. So let's see. Acoustic, do you have the Buckeyes rankings pulled up there?
I don't know that I've got what you sent.
Well, I was going to have one of you guys read the Ohio State offensive rankings.
Okay, I've got it here.
Offense, defense, and then one of you guys, then Foxy, be ready for Penn State. So go ahead, Acoustic.
Okay, so for offense, the Buckeyes are at 429 yards of offense per game, which actually sounds good, but it's 29th in the FBS, 4th in the Big Ten. And our defense has allowed 197 average per game, which is 1st in the FBS and also 1st in the Big Ten.
And then go ahead.
Keep going with that.
Yeah, keep going. Okay. Do the whole. Shit.
All right, the whole box. Yeah, rushing. Ohio State 151. That's 72nd FBS, 10th in the Big Ten, and the defense holds our opponents to 85 yards per game average, which is 8th in the FBS and 3rd in the Big Ten. Passing yards, we have 277 for the Buckeyes, 19th FBS, 3rd Big Ten, and our defense gives up 111 yards, which is 1st again in the FBS, or actually 1st in the FBS and 1st in the Big Ten. Points per game, we're at 36, and I'll say the point for, again, average, 21st for the FBS, 4th for the Big Ten, and our defense at 5.9 points per game, 1st FBS and 1st in the Big Ten.
So, Foxy, before we go on to Penn State, let's, for each of you guys, and I'll say you, Foxy, first. Is there anything in there that surprises you of all these numbers for Ohio State?
For me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. Obviously we know the defense has been unbelievable this year. And, from a points perspective, from 3rd, 4th down perspective, I mean, just watch it. And the big names have really played well. So From an offensive perspective, again, I think that's probably right in line. You're bringing Julian Sayin in as a new quarterback. You're very conservative early in the year. So I don't see anything that really surprises me.
Any concerns?
No, I don't think there's concerns. It's tough to compare. Let's say if you look at last year's team versus this year's team, they had the wide receivers had probably double the yards last year at about this time in the season. But again, completely different offense, different quarterback. You had Will Howard, fifth-year guy. So I'm not concerned. I want to see Bo Jackson get, a little healthier. So because I think he's had a little bit of a nagging injury, maybe not. And it's a long season, so I'm not concerned at all.
Okay. How about you, Acoustic?
Well, I guess if we look overall at the statistics, we have realized that it's definitely become an offensive game in the college ranks today. Passing very highly rated. What I had noticed and what I had thought about is that sometimes you never really notice or realize how good your players are until a year later after the NFL draft. And what we found is, our team last year, not only national champion, but very solid and very talented, as our three starting backs, quarterback, and two running backs all made it to the NFL, and all are seeing, some game time, except for Will, that's still on the mend from that arm injury that he sustained. But definitely an offensive game. It's become an offensive game similar to the NFL.
Yep, and we'll come back to the leaders, the leaders in certain categories for each team. But Foxy, why don't you go ahead and give us the Penn State stats, the rankings.
Yeah,
overall.
from an offensive perspective, their yards per game just under 350, which is 97th in the FBS and 13th in the Big Ten. So not great offensive stats there, considering you had Drew Aller leading the team up until his injury.
Mhm.
Rushing 170 roughly per game. That's 7th in the Big Ten. What Larry's talking about from a passing perspective, they're only at about 180, which is 106 in the FBS, 15th in the Big Ten. So they have struggled from an offensive perspective. Points per game, they're at 34. Again, 7th in the Big Ten, but their defenses have held teams to an average of 19 points. And you mentioned they haven't lost by a lot of points from when you look at their collective schedule or record. But from a defensive perspective, they've been allowing 291, which 8th in the Big Ten, 22nd in the FBS. When you go down and you look at rushing, 160 roughly, that's 15th in the Big Ten. So,
Right.
From Ohio State perspective, if you think about maybe starting to get your rushing game going this week, we might have a good opportunity.
Yep, and 91st out of 132.
Yeah, in 91st.
Exactly
Right.
Nationwide. Mhm.
From a passing perspective, they give a roughly 133 yards. Again, 7th in the FBS, 4th in the Big Ten. So it seems like they have a little better pass defense. Again, I think you got to look at who they were playing in their games. But all in all, when you look at the stats, you go, boy, they're struggling from an offensive perspective, which now they come up against the Ohio State defense. I'm not sure it's going to be that close game like the games in the past based on what we have.
Yeah, as I look at this, and then I'll check in with you, LD. But as I look at this, their strength is our strength, and their defensive strength is our offensive strength. The passing, their pass defense versus our pass offense. Their defense against the run. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a way for us to get healthy. And ironically, their rushing game on offense, Penn State, that is, 55th in the country and 7th in the Big Ten. And I've said it a couple times, going into the season, many thought they had the best running back tandem in all of college football with Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. That certainly has not proved true. Matter of fact, Jadavian Price and Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, I think, are by far the best tandem in college football. Although, we can argue who the Wolverines have played, but Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall have, if you're playing them, and we are at the end of the year, I think that's cause for some concern or certainly attention to that.
Sure.
I'll add a couple things more regarding Penn State's defense after we get LD to chime in. What do you make of what we just talked about?
Well, what I was thinking at first, looking at the numbers overall, is it looks like it's reflective of a Jimmy Knowles defense, and that is the fact that he doesn't want to give up the passes and he doesn't want to give up the big play. So he's if he has the umbrella effect, he's more concerned about stopping the big passes, big plays, reflected in the passing yards being significantly lower than their rushing yards that they've allowed. And, as you spoke about the differential in the scores, the sad part for the Penn State fans is that they've been in the games, but they've collapsed at the crucial points in the game near the end. I guess that's the best way to say it. And really, when you consider that, they're really still a solid team. So it's a team that we can't take for granted, because if they do everything right today, they could be a very big problem.
Yeah, interestingly enough, well,
I guess that's the best way to say it.
Well, interestingly enough, Jim Knowles, when he was at Ohio State, his first season, he was actually okay. He said, if we give up 4 or 5 big plays a game, I'm okay with that as long as they're not scoring plays. So he interestingly was okay with that. I don't think Ryan Day was ever okay with that, but Knowles was. And Knowles is a really good defensive coach, but I don't think he got great at Ohio State until after the Oregon game. And Ryan Day sat down and said, we're going to do some things a little different around here. And from the Oregon game on, the Buckeyes played a different game defensively. And it just seemed to snowball as the year went on and the D got better. That's just my take on that.
Could I interject one thing there?
You certainly may.
Notice the huge difference in the way that Matt Patricia gets along with Larry Johnson compared to the problems there were with Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson. Clearly, at this point, I think reflects that Knowles was just not a very good team, as in coaching team, oriented coach. He was more of a lone wolf kind of guy.
Would you attribute that to his Ivy League background?
Well, I guess that's possible. Let's say if early on, Ivy League, small school, and I'll say this, and I don't know, I'll just speculate. Let's say it's hard to find good coaches, so the coordinator has to shoulder, and once they get used to shouldering that burden, it just grows with them in time, and they just want to stay in control and not necessarily delegate or give up some of that authority later on down the road.
Sure. Any thoughts on that, Foxy?
No, I think Larry brings a great point. If you just look at the dynamics that Patricia has brought from a team perspective, it's totally different than what we heard, in the past couple of years. I mean, obviously Knowles came in and changed the situation to the better, but he still had some struggles in that team-oriented atmosphere, it seems like.
Yeah, and so talking about Matt Patricia, I don't know if you saw this morning, he actually is on Facebook. He has his own page, and he posted of him playing the trumpet with Tabiddle, and he posted 4 or 5 pictures, and he said how he loves this tradition, and he's given us all more reason why we think he might stay, but who knows what opportunities await him if they finish with a really great season or finish strong. So
yeah, no, from that line, real quick, or Billy Bob, sorry.
Whatever, I don't care. Sir talks a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Sir talks a lot. STA. Anyways, I did a little reading about Matt Patricia, and if you go back to some of his connections in New England, the feedback that those guys are telling is that Patricia really loves what he's doing. He loves the idea of teaching young men how to grow in the game and grow individually, versus in the NFL, you got a bunch of millionaires and you're really not teaching as much as you are, obviously, in the college game. So that was exciting to read when I was reading a few things yesterday.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, it appears like he does like it. And maybe I should have. I don't know. I don't have a pencil. I don't think. Maybe
a writing instrument.
A writing instrument. Yeah, there you go. Put my pencil in my ear or whatever.
There you go.
We'll skip that. All right, so we're going to stay on Penn State. Talk a little bit about their team. One of the things they struggled with is where are those stats? Is their pass offense. They're 106th, right out of 132, and their offense overall struggles, and which is really interesting. Why they went out and got a defensive guy rather than, but I will say they tried. Over the years, they're one of the challenges. Although this is their wide receivers. Although this one kid went to was it Wallace the third, went to a different school. I forgot where he went, but he's actually playing pretty well. But Penn State brought in 3 wide receivers, all transfers. Kyron Hudson from USC, Devontae Ross, who I believe is their number 1 wide receiver, from Troy, and then Trevor Pena from Syracuse. And they still, if you combine all 3 of them, their yardage, they're just slightly greater than Jeremiah Smith on his own. I believe they got 694 yards of in total combined between those 3 receivers, and I believe Jeremiah is 602. I got that somewhere here. But,
that sounds close.
Yeah, so I know I got it in my. So they struggle there. We got a redshirt freshman quarterback, ironically from Columbus, Ohio. Went to Olentangy. And so what do you think we're going to see? I mean, do you think they're going to try and establish the run against the Buckeyes with Singleton and Allen, or do you think they're going to try and pass? Where do you see this thing? Or do you think they're going to? I don't know that Grunkemeyer is much of an option guy, but Larry, you first.
Well, I would see Penn State trying to emulate what several teams have done against the Buckeyes, and that is try to get that rushing game going, try to be conservative in nature, protect the ball, and try to control the clock, try to keep the ball out of the Buckeyes' hands, and as most teams do, try to stay close until till toward the end, where hopefully they can get a turnover or make a big play and come out, victorious. Big field goal. I don't know what their field goal kicker's like, but I know in a special teams battle, we're a little bit, short. We're a little bit short of the rest of the league.
I do not see where I have their kickers info. So, anything to add to that, Foxy?
No, I think Larry's right on. Hey, you're coming in with this freshman or second year, right? Because he's been on the team 2 years. Quarterback, hadn't seen a lot of playing time. You're going into the shoe. It's going to be rowdy. The crowd's going to be fired up. Good weather. So I'm not sure they're going to be looking to throw the ball a lot coming out of the when they come out of onto the field. So
Right.
I think they'll be a little more conservative. They'll have some short passes, right? Try to maybe throw a few to the running backs, try to do a couple screens. I read this week, it sounds like the Ohio State defense is really going to focus on getting to the quarterback. And if they're doing that, Penn State might try to use that short passing game as to deflect that pressure.
Yeah, some screen passes, wheel, as Herb Street loves, the wheel route. So let's go to Acoustics. You talk about the Penn State kicking game. Their kicker is Ryan Barker. Extra points, he's made 26 out of 26. Field goals, he's 11 out of 12. 3 for 3 from inside 30. 4 for 4 from 30 to 39. The only field goal attempt he has missed is from 50 plus yards, and his longest is 49. So he's a pretty good kicker. That's what I get out of what I'm reading. Better than our kicker at this point. So
another thing is in regards to Jaden Fielding. I thought he was closer with that 50-plus field goal he tried than a lot of the lesser ones that he missed. I was kind of surprised or pleasantly surprised by that particular kick. He only missed it by a couple of yards, and here he struggles with I'll say mid-range, 30 to 40s, 30 to 45s. It's sad. When a kicker, all they have time or all they do is kick in practice, basically. My goodness, you would think he would get, I don't know how many they do, 50, 75 kicks during a day, during a practice.
I don't know. Different hash marks.
Moving around, going different distances. So I don't know. I don't mean with the whole team. I mean him on his own, probably has a goalpost on his own he's working with. So I really can't understand why they're struggling so bad unless it's up here,
Right. And I've heard we've got this other kicker, I can't remember his name, but he's a transfer from Miami of Ohio, I think. And
I think that's what I've heard, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what his eligibility is, if it's something they're hoping to redshirt him. But, one of the things that's going to be interesting as we evolve into these last few games, after today, there's only 4 regular season games left. So any freshman or anybody that you are considering redshirting that hasn't played at all can play in any or all of those 4 games, and then all the way through the playoffs, because the playoffs do not count towards your redshirt. So you may see some guys that we haven't seen here start to get worked in. And before we get to Penn State's defense, one thing I wanted to get you guys input on, I don't know if you heard this, Jake Butt, who's obviously a blue head, a Wolverine, but I actually enjoy listening to him. He's a very fair, very, very intelligent guy. Maybe that's because he went to Pickerington. I believe he went to North. But the Buckeyes didn't recruit Butt, according to his story. However, Jake Butt just did a segment. Did either of you guys see the segment? Jake Butt talking about Ohio State and how he equates the way they're playing today to their freshness in the playoffs.
Did not see it.
No.
So what he was
neither did I.
talking about is Ohio State, and actually the Wild man, Chris Wild, just brought this up. I was listening to their preview show. Ohio State plays a very slow offensive game. In fact, I think their plays are about, on average, 10 seconds. Takes them 10 seconds longer to run a play than their opponents. And with this slower play means slower or less plays throughout the game. And so what Jake Butt was saying is when you get to the end of the season, what these fewer plays equate to is that Ohio State will have played one less football game than every other team that they would play because of the pattern. And he believes that's an on purpose, a Ryan Day purposeful thing.
I did hear that line about Ohio State playing one less game. So yeah, that's an interesting fact. And just on that kicker. So just looking it up, the gentleman played at Ball State. His name is Jackson Corville.
Okay. For Ohio State, the backup place kicker.
Yeah, the backup kicker. He's got 2 years left of eligibility, but yeah, he played 23 and 24 at Ball State.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Good stuff. Came from the MAC. I was in the conference.
He did kick a 52-yard game-winning field goal against Northern Illinois in his career in the MAC.
Okay. What is Ball State? Are they the Cardinals or the Ball State?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Cardinals. Good one.
Obviously, Northern Illinois is the Huskies. So.
And Bowling Green is the Falcons.
Yes, I know. And I even sent you a little video today of Bowling Green kind of taking a page out of the Buckeyes when they played the I-75 rivalry against Toledo. They crossed out all the T's.
Yep.
Stop signs at the university. They were taping over all the T's. So I thought that was pretty cool. Our sister thought it was a copycat story. Penn State's defense. Now, I've circled highlighted some guys that I think are guys to watch, but let's take it. Foxy, you go first, and then Acoustic. Who are guys that you look at on Penn State's defense that you think Buckeye fans should keep an eye out for?
It's a good question because I didn't get that deep into looking at the individuals, so I might acquiesce to Acoustic Larry on this one. And LD, you might need to go first because I didn't really get into the individuals on the team.
No, that's okay. And if neither one of you did, don't worry. Sir Talks a Lot can help out.
Good. I apologize also, but yeah, I know that they're usually solid, and from the statistics, they must have a really good defensive backfield. But as individuals go, I'm not real familiar with them.
So, are you familiar with College Football Final and Matt Berry? You watch College Football Final? Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, E.J. Manuel.
I know what it is, but I don't.
During that show, they have a segment called Extra Credit, and he grades them on certain things. So I'd have to give you guys on Penn State defensive prep. I got to score you low on that. So anyway, all right. So here we go. First guy who's been around. He's a senior, number 33. The guy has been all over the field the last couple of years. I didn't look at his individual stats this year, and that's Dennis Sutton. Dennis Sutton. The guy, when he was opposite of the guy they had last year, the defensive end, who they moved around. He went to the pros. Can't remember his name. But he was pretty good. He's still pretty good this year. The other defensive end is a redshirt senior, and that's Zariah Fisher. And so you got two defensive ends. So how they combat, we've got Sareveld on one side, on the left side, and then he's going to go up against Dennis Sutton, and then Philip Daniels, it would appear, is going to be going up against Zariah Fisher. Other guys, here's another guy been around a long time, redshirt senior, the weak side linebacker Dominic DeLuca, another guy that I think very highly of. He's always around the ball. And then their middle linebacker is a newer guy. I don't know much about him. Amari Campbell. He's a junior transfer, but he replaced probably their most valuable defensive player, middle linebacker Tony Rojas, who appears to be out for the year. So
yeah, he transferred in from UNC.
Okay. Well, we got one of those transfers too, Bo Atkinson, right?
Yeah.
By the way, UNC won last night.
Saw that. Yeah.
Against the Cuse. Some of the shine has maybe gone off Fran Brown a little bit. But and then as far as in the defensive backfield, the only two guys I highlighted, and I could be off on these, but Zakee Wheatley, who's a redshirt senior, he's their strong safety. So he's a guy who got to more so, I think, come up to stuff the run. But let's let him come up and stuff the run, and we'll go over the top. And then the other guy who's a nickel back, he's a junior, but he's been around, Zion Tracy, who I think may be their best, actually, defensive back. So
did you mention Zane Durant? Just looking real quick, he's a preseason All-American. Really, he anchors in. He's a deep defensive tackle.
Yeah, senior defensive tackle. So got a strong defensive line there between Sutton, Durant, and Fisher. So, don't sleep on these guys. I know I'll go into my philosophy or my thought on that. We talked about here, I don't want to get too deep in the stats, but their leading receiver is Ross, I think I said. Yep, Devontae Ross, but he's only got 255 yards, like I said. So you take Ross at 255, Pena at 221, and Kyron Hudson 218 for a combined 694. And I was right, Jeremiah Smith is at 602. So Carnell Tate's at 597. So there's a guy, again, almost only 100 yards between the three of them combined. So between the two of them, 1,100 some yards. So I think the Buckeyes can go over the top. Do you think? Well, let me ask it a different way. Were you guys happy in the Wisconsin game to see the Buckeyes come out fast, throwing the ball to set up the run, as opposed to the previous game where they kept trying to set up the run or set up to run to set up the pass? So did you like that philosophy the last game we played against Whiskey, coming out hot, coming out fast?
Go ahead, LD. You go first.
Okay. I'll have to say yes on that. And the only reason is if you can keep moving the chains, as in getting first downs, you start to build that momentum with your team. You start to build their confidence. They were playing, they were playing up north in Wisconsin. So Wisconsin has that home field crowd. You give that crowd anything to cheer about, and all of a sudden you could have a rough go. And by starting to move that ball, get the first downs, build some confidence in your own team, now you can start to open up your playbook and start to use some other different things, and give your team the chance to get some points on the board early, which has been Ohio State's struggle, I think, mostly for the year, is getting points up early.
And so before we switch over to Foxy here, to play off of that, do you feel good about the evolution of Hartline and his play calling and how some of it's evolved? And do you think that bodes well as we start to get better in the red zone, which we've struggled, which is ironic that we struggled a little in the red zone this year?
Yeah, I think he's learning and growing. And again, along with Julian saying and many of the newer players, I'll say newer players as in the guys that have replaced the seasoned veterans of last year. Uh, but again, we have to keep in mind this is Hartline's first year calling plays also. He's learning and growing. And if we
Yep.
get to that point of talking about future head coach positions for Hartline, uh, I think he'd be wise to stick around Ohio State for another year or two and get a little more experience under his belt before he tries to put together a program on his own.
Foxy?
Yeah, I agree. I think what we're saying is the offense, and to your point, Larry, Brian Hartline maturing at a good pace, right? And I think Ryan Day has not asked them to be all world on week 1, week 2, week 3. It's let's let the team gel together. Let's let Sayin mature. And from a play calling perspective, we can be a little conservative. Haven't had to get too outlandish. And so now I think as we go in the next few weeks, we're going to see the offensive bring new things into the new plays into the game. And I think it's exciting to see these guys how they are maturing.
Yeah, very good. And I agree with you guys. So I'm not going to go too deep because we're going to talk about some games here. But one guy to look for is if Bo Jackson is a little dinged up, guy who ran the ball late in the game against Whiskey is Isaiah West. I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about him before the season, and I'm guessing there's, other than some insiders, a lot of people didn't know much about Isaiah West, but he seems to run pretty hard. He can run. How do we say? I'll use all the cliches. He runs with his pads in front of him, and he runs north and south. So how's that? So watch out for Isaiah West today, along with Bo Jackson if he's healthy, and I think Peoples is picking up a little steam as well. I'll let you guys go. Tell me what your thoughts are for the game real quick, and then I'll give you my thought.
Go ahead, Foxy.
Foxy, go ahead.
Okay. My thoughts on the game is I believe this is Ohio State's going to run this one and run it in terms of their offense is going to be clicking. They're going to be working well. They're going to be happy to be back in the horseshoe. They haven't been there for about a month, right?
About a month, so, yep.
I think the defense is going to continue to dominate. You got this young quarterback again, so I see it. They're going to cover 20-plus points, in my opinion. I don't think Ryan Day has a lot of positive feelings for Jim Knowles, and he's going to show it on the field.
Okay. LD?
Yeah, I hope to see that. I see Ohio State trying to, much like what I stated about Penn State. I think they're going to try to protect the ball early on. They'll give Julian saying some opportunities, but I see the Knowles defense as being that big umbrella again, where they're probably going to be too deep safeties, so they're going to be protecting against the big play. So maybe a lot of underneath, maybe a lot of crossing routes, maybe a lot of Max Clare today. But yes, mix in the run. I would just say maybe Hartline, as he gets that experience, try to be unpredictable on your play calling. There was a couple of games where we ran on first down. I think I'd like to say every first down for the whole game, but
first and second down almost every series.
Yeah. It reminded me of my son's college days at Muskingum, where first down run, second down run, third down pass, and fourth down punt. It was ugly.
Yeah. So I have mixed feelings. I thought this game was gonna. I was like, oh, the Buckeyes are gonna just kill them, and then I'm like, okay, Penn State's lost their 4 games by 13 points. They're a prideful team. They got an assistant, their interim coach, uh, Terry Smith, played at Penn State, has coached there a long time. Uh, if it's going to be close, it's going to be close at least a half, and then maybe the Buckeyes break away. But one of the narratives has been, maybe not as much since Penn State's lost a few games, but one of the early narratives was Jim Knowles wants to go to Ohio State and show him what he can do, right? Show him how good he is, and what they missed, what they lost. I turn it around. I look at the other way. Do you think the Penn State or the Ohio State defense doesn't want to show Jim Knowles how good they can be without him? And there's been little innuendos by some of the players that have brought that out. They don't come out and say it, but they say it. Example, Peyton Pierce said that Matt Patricia talked to him more in the first 2 days he was with the team than Knowles did the whole year. So, that's a little slight. The other thing is, do you not think the Ohio State offense wants to light up? To your point, Foxy, do you think they don't want to light up Jim and say, hey, you were who you are because of where you were?
Right. I think what's going to be interesting is one of the things that you have not seen this year is a lot of deep passes, right? It's been on average 1 or 2 a game. I think it was maybe against Ohio that Sayin had more than a couple throws over 30 yards. So, it's going to be interesting. And to LD's point, they've had a lot of double coverage on Smith. Tate's done well, and typically he's the one catching those long balls. Will they try to take it downfield a little more today to get that part of the game going? That'll be an interesting thing I'm watching for.
Yeah, it will be, and they aren't only double covering Jeremiah lately. They're doubling Carnell.
They are. Yeah.
Then who else is left? Who else is left to defend? Linebackers. And so, to Larry's point, you're hoping they're going downfield. To Larry's point, too, the slants, Max Clare, maybe Brandon Innes gets a little more involved in the game. And actually, one of the best guys we have on the team that is really good at the slant, and once he catches the ball, he disappears, and that's Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
So you got at least 3 guys that can run the slant. They probably all can, but there's 3 right there. And not to forget, Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham have been being worked into this lineup a little more, and they are quick dudes. So good stuff. I can't tell you where I land. I told you what. So we got about 10 minutes left, maybe not quite that, but are there a couple games, each of you, and I'll start with LD, are there a couple games that you're interested in looking at today? If you have YouTube TV, you're obviously not able to watch them all.
That's true.
Yes.
Like me.
Well, clearly the Buckeye game, I don't. So what I'll say is this: a spread 18.5. I don't know if we'll get it or not. It depends on what kind of game our offense is set to play. Big games. I was surprised that Vanderbilt is underdog to Texas. Notre Dame has playing BC. They've not got a big game today, so they'll clearly probably win that. So I don't know about competition-wise. Maybe a game to watch is that Cincinnati-Utah game, okay? That could be a good game right there.
Yeah, at 10:15 tonight.
Except for that.
Now, guys, my question is, I think Evan Pryor is out for that game, which it would be a big blow to Cincinnati.
Really? He is?
Okay.
I might be able to check that.
Yeah, no, he right now he's listed
should-
as out.
Hmm.
So I didn't see what his injury is or when he got hurt, but I was looking forward to that game too, Larry, because I wanted to see Evan Pryor, and I was looking this morning and it said he was out for the game. I'm like, wow, that's a tough one. Going
Yeah.
to Utah, I think they're in Utah. Yeah, they're playing in Utah, and without
Yeah, Rice
Pryor.
Eccles Stadium. Actually, game day is there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Is that why
ESPN
Pat
game day.
McAfee had his shirt off when they started game day?
I can't tell you because I don't get it.
Oh,
I
there you
can't get
go.
Oh, you. Oh yeah. So you've
There
got
are a
YouTube
couple-
TV also?
I do have YouTube TV.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you?
I've been back and forth on them. Upset at times. Well, what do y'all think about Indiana going into Maryland to play? Do you think Maryland will put up any kind of a fight at all?
No.
No.
Freshman
All right.
quarterback. No.
You-
Don't see it.
The tough thing for me is all these games I want to watch are at noon today. You know, Vandy, Texas. You know, that's I think that's going to be a good game. I think Texas will win that game. I love to see what Vandy's doing, but I think Texas is going to hang in there. Obviously, Ohio State, and then you've got the U
Right.
going out to SMU.
Yes.
Is Squid going to that game?
Oh yeah. They're. I'm sure they're already tailgating there, and I think it's on the Boulevard. I think is what she told me. I haven't been to
Okay.
an SMU game yet, but that'll be on my schedule for next fall.
All right.
But I think that'll be interesting. If Carson Beck struggles as he has done on individual games, I think SMU has a shot.
And then Duke plays Clemson. That would be more interesting if it was at Duke, but it's at Clemson. So, you know.
Oh, that was a question I was going to put forth in regards to Clemson and Dabo. How much leash do you give Dabo since he won a national championship before you start to try to push him out?
You give him
outright
$61
firing,
million. Larry, you give him $61 million a leash.
and he'll
because-
go, right?
Because, yeah, but here's the problem. Dabo's buyout is that Dabo gets the whole $61 million regardless of whatever job he would take.
I see. Yeah.
He doesn't get what they call the offset, or the university doesn't get the offset. Whereas if he got a job for 10 million, times in 5 years, that's 50. They would only be on the hook for 10. They're on the hook for 61, regardless of whether he gets a job or not. So Dabo's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and when you got three big jobs open, if you're thinking from a university perspective, where do I fall in those big three jobs? I mean, where does Clemson fall? Is it
a lot of people already.
Three?
Yeah, no, you're right. But a lot of people already think Penn State's the third best job now. It's not the first.
Well, I agree. LSU's probably number one, but Florida, and maybe that's just my own personal despise of Florida and their fans after sitting in that 07 national championship,
Right.
But anyways.
So they play Georgia today, by the way, at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville.
No, I know. I think another good game tonight is going to be NC State and Georgia Tech. NC State has an opportunity to upset Georgia Tech. We'll see if they can pull it off. I think they've got a pretty decent offense, but it'll be a good test for Georgia Tech for sure.
Yeah, and that game's at Carter Finley in Raleigh.
Yeah,
So,
our sister should go to that game if she had any football. If she wanted to go watch some good football.
Right. So I'm going to say I agree with you on all the games you mentioned. Most of them I can't watch. And I don't think there's any back channels, none that I've found yet. But two games here, other than the UC Utah game, interested in, but I think Cincinnati, that would be highly detrimental to them if Pryor is out for the game. So I don't know if the line moved on that. If the line moved a lot, you could probably, what is the line? It's 10. So yes, I'm going to say Pryor's out because the line is minus 10.5. Utah is given 10.5 to Cincinnati. So Utah's good, but Cincinnati's ranked 17, Utah's ranked 24. And so I'd have to say Pryor's not playing in that game. But lastly, before we get out of here, 2 games. Oklahoma plays at Neyland Stadium. They play Tennessee in Knoxville. So it'll be interesting to see if Oklahoma can right themselves. They're actually ranked behind Tennessee. And then the other game in the Big Ten is Nebraska and USC.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They both only have 2 losses. So if they win out, 10-2 team, there's that potential. USC's 3-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska's 3-2. But here's a stat that I got. Where the hell's my sheet?
As you're looking for that, the Big Ten needs some teams to really make it into the playoff, right?
Right.
And to me, that's a playoff game right there because whoever loses is probably out.
Right. So, definitely. So right now you're looking at the potential of 3 teams, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, possibly a 4th that could come out of that game. Hey, I don't know who Iowa plays Nebraska yet. I think it's their last game of the year. And watch out for Iowa. They're all of a sudden they can score.
Yeah.
Along with their defense. But anyway, Nebraska has lost 28 straight games to ranked opponents.
Ooh.
28 straight games to ranked opponents. And SC's ranked 23rd. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, my final thought is number 1. I just sent you a text. You can go and get your 7-day free subscription to Fubo, and you can get ESPN, so you can watch some games. We wouldn't want you to do Monday morning quarterback without watching all these games.
Yeah, might have to Fubo it. I wonder if you can get ABC as well as ESPN. ABC local.
But no, I think I'm excited to watch the Buckeyes today. I think they're, see them back at home, blackout in the stadium. It's going to be a good day, and we'll see what happens the rest of the day with some of these other teams. But another great day in November, college football. And, oh, by the way, Game 7, World Series. I don't know if you saw the finish last night. Unbelievable finish for the Dodgers.
Was that they got the guy out on a fly ball?
Double play.
Tried to double play. Yeah, I did see.
So it's going to be a good day.
All right, LD.
I don't know other than go Bucks. Keep the mistakes down, keep the ball high, and let's go. Right.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. I know Craig Carroll's out there, Mrs. Billy Bob. There's some others, and I apologize if I did not. I did not see any comments that I needed to respond to. I was going to ask you guys, but we'll work on that. For those of you watching here, switch on over to the OHIO podcast, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Chris Wild's call-in show. Check them out, and then they do a live. If you wanted to watch them during the game, do that. We're going to get out of here. Thanks again. America, land of the free, because of the brave. Stay focused, America, and stay focused, Buckeye fans. Go Bucks. Billy Bob, peace out.
Oh, wait.
Bucks.
Go Bucks.
I-O.
I-O.